Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we'll talk Neofinetia. It's the first video that I dedicate to Neofinetia on this channel. Nowadays, these little plants are called Vanda falcata. They have been reclassified into the Vandas. They are monopodial like Vandas, epiphytes, and there are many other characteristics that are very similar to it. However, they are very different as well. They have their own species separately from the Vandas. They are miniature. All of them are miniature type of orchids. These ones, they are known as the Japanese orchids because they've been cultured in Japan for many years. So this one is known as the Japanese orchid, or in Japan they used to call it, I think, the wind orchid. And for many years it was extremely expensive to own one of these. Only the rich families in Japan could own and grow Neofinetia falcatas. There is a whole history about it. I'm not going to explore it today. It's my first video and I'll talk a little bit about its culture, but more from my own experience. This video is not a video that I will teach you how to grow Neofinetias. I will just give you some tips, what I learned, but it's more about which Neofinetia I have and the fun game of buying an orchid for sale without its flowers and discovering many years later the identity of it. I do that a lot, especially when I start growing orchids. I used to go to many places or buy boxes that you're not sure what you get, or going to sales and buy orchids without flowers, without being completely sure about which orchid I would get. That's the same thing with these Neofinetias. Before I start talking about it, I'm gonna go to the past and show you when I have only buds and what I thought, how I thought this orchid would look like. I was completely wrong, by the way, but let me play this section and I will come back. 1 second. I thought it would be very nice to show you this miniature orchid. This is a Neofinetia of some sorts that I bought on eBay a long time ago as seedlings or probably divisions without any roots. So this one was the only one that I had one root, and like something like this size, maybe 3 centimeters root. I put them in, I placed all of them inside my high humidity chamber, and maybe 2 years later I have this one push out a flower spike. And I'm really curious because I don't know which Neofinetia this one be. I thought it would be a simple white Neofinetia falcata. That's the species that we see out there. I thought it was the most popular. But I noticed that we have some anthocyanin here. And also the roots, they are ruby red. I will try to give you some close-ups. Let's see if I manage to. Let's see how I can focus. That's the maximum that I can go, but at least you have an idea. So the roots are like red, really red. And apparently the color of the roots is an important thing on Neofinetias. I had no idea. And something else that I noticed is that's the anthocyanin. And also we do have some anthocyanin pigments on the flower spike as well. So I imagine, can you see the anthocyanin here, then here? So I do imagine that's gonna be a sort of pink, very light pink Neofinetia. I am not sure. There is one that's very common as well. I did some research, that's how I discovered that. And I will come in the future with a whole video explaining how I look after this one, what's its flowers, and what I learned with these babies on the way. As you could see on the other video, I thought it would have some sort of pink pigmentation. I was wrong. Although I can see some signs of anthocyanin on the plant, this doesn't have ruby roots. They are called muddy roots. It's when you have this sort of red with green and yellow, they call mud. So this one I think is the classical Neofinetia falcata, although I don't have an ID for it. Looking at the white flowers and the way that the plant is growing, I think it's the species, the Neofinetia falcata, and not any sort of different variety. When I bought this plant, I bought it they were all seedlings or divisions without roots. So they were very, very tiny divisions. None of them had any roots. And I was really curious to know how they would look like in the future. But because Neofinetias tend to be expensive plants, why they are expensive? Because it's so difficult to find them around and they take a while to grow and develop as well. I have these divisions. This one was the most mature one of all the 6 that I got from the box. It had 1 root. That was more than 2 years ago. I think 2 years and a half, 3 years, I don't know. And it now pushed 3 tiny flowers for me. So that's partially the reason why they are expensive. But let me tell you a little bit how I grew these seedlings. First of all, I put them inside that chamber to increase humidity, to make them produce more roots before I decide to pot them, because most of the divisions, they had no roots at all. I still have 3 others, or 2 others, 3 others beyond this one, but one is dying. I think I crown rotted, and the other 2 are growing healthily and nicely. I will pot them soon. So I increased the humidity around the plant. After that, I potted them in moss. They are all potted in full moss, and I found that they love it. They never stop growing and producing new funds. And the ones that I lost because I probably let some water trapped in between the leaves. So like Phalaenopsis, they can have crown rot and stem rot. So that was on me, not on the plant itself. Nowadays, I just I put all of them inside a container. I add a little bit of water and I let the moss suck this water. That's how I water all of my Neofinetias. I have a short, I will link it down below as well, showing you how I water them, how I am growing them, and how I manage to rebloom this tiny, tiny beauty. Just simply offering everything that I offer to my other orchids. It's sitting on my southern exposure windows, so it does receive some bright. They say, oh, Neofinetia have to be placed in a shadowy place. I'm not growing mine like that, and it's blooming. So it is in a southern window exposure. It receives, oh gosh, the noise is horrendous. It does receive some bright light. Maybe that's why when you look up close, you can see a little bit of anthocyanin, some pinkish here on the spike. Maybe it's because of the highlight exposure. When it's winter, I live in a cold place, so the temperature will drop a little bit. And then I have some light. It's completely potted in moss. And now we are in August here, so it's summer, it pushed out this flower spike. It wasn't very difficult to rebloom this plant, but as I said, I don't have the biggest experience with mature Neofinetias yet to give you the full care tutorial. I just want to tell you this story. And they do have a very powerful fragrance. So if you're sensitive to fragrance at night, I would advise you to keep you far from you. But during the day, they smell like floral and honeysuckle. I don't know. Delicious, amazing. It's not very powerful. At night, it's sweeter. My daughter described it chocolate as well. I don't know, maybe it has some hint of chocolate to it. But the fragrance is really, really nice. And it is a beautiful orchid. I'm so in love. It's so tiny, compact. And I will keep potting it from below, not from above. I don't want to risk lose any more divisions. And I hope the other ones will surprise me in the future with flowers as well. But I think all of them are Neofinetia falcatas, the normal variety. Let's see. I'll keep you posted. Do you enjoy discovering which plants you have? Which plants are you growing? Let me know down below. I intend to keep showing you, I think I have one more that I bought without knowing its ID. And we will bloom soon. So I will do the same thing and I'm going to show you what I got. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Yeah.